Hello, it's Rick. I got a few minutes before I have to get ready to go to work. This being Tuesday and all, is my art class days. And I have about 50, 60 people that come to two different classes. I don't get home till late in the evening. Tonight we're going to do above the water and below the water scene. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? So it's a mangrove and a turtle, and we do something different all the time. And these are beginners. This is for beginners. I teach people how to paint. You know, when I use the lessons, you know, I don't really tell them that this is the lessons, you know, but I'm kind of afraid that when they start hearing some of these things, they get, oh, he's preaching. Because some things sound just like, you know, like you're getting ready to do some kind of preaching or something like that. And, you know, and that's just a shame because some minds just click right off like this. And others, you know, will tune in to see if you've done something, if you're going to mistake something that they have already got their mind on and how they wish to interpret it. And so, you know, so you have to attack it differently. But being that this is a creative situation where you're actually learning how to do something, like learning how to paint, you're creating something. So this is the creative forces. And so like God in a lot of ways, you know, when it goes to talking about it, when we paint, when I teach people how to paint, there's a three, you know, the three comes in, the three, and you know, in three, when the number 3 comes in, there's a divine intervention. And so, you know, when you actually learn how to paint, and whenever you come out of the end of the class, you're like, oh my God, wow, it's like, my God, that was really cool, you know. So, that's a divine intervention, and that little bit of, ooh, that's a type of rapture. You know, it's one of the 3 kinds of raptures. But what I wanted to get at is like you know, when it comes down to it, the surface of painting, the lower you come out, you start off with just the surface, a picture. It's all white, there's nothing, you know, and in the beginning, you know. But what we want to do is we really are going to get rid of all the light. We want to fill this up with something. So we start off with the dark side and everything, the lower elements of the painting in 3-phase painting is the dark side. It goes down first, and it's hell. It's also the ugly side because everything has the color black in it. And, you know, a lot of artists and a lot of art throughout years, they don't use the color black. They use all these other things that create the color black. But in my situation, I just paint black and cut to all crap. But it's still the same thing. The idea is I base everything off of a color. And depending on what the color is, doesn't matter what it is. That color is going to have a dark side to it, represented by the color black, and then there's going to be the lighter side of things, and this is, you know, it's the color with introducing sunshine, so that's represented by white. And so you see that this is already taking over this idea, you know, as the left is being, you know, well, not left, but it's talking about a black and white. These are antagonistic coloring situations where, you know, the darker you go and the lighter you go, you have this wonderful contrast between them, and that creates this a wonderful painting. And you'll find that the way it actually layers is that there's a whole lot of darkness. I mean, just like the whole earthly part of this, the down is the shady side. You know, shade hits the ground. It's like pushed down. It's just where the shade winds up. And so the lower surface of canvas of your painting is everything that you're going to be doing in the future, but it has to show its darker side. So if you have leaves or something that are green and beautiful greens or beautiful oranges and yellows and purples, whatever the color is that's going to show up in that painting has to have black in it first. And whenever you do this, it looks like, you know, kind of looks like shit. Looks like hell. All right. And it is literally hell, and it looks like it. And then whenever it comes down to the second phase of painting, the second phase becomes the color now, and there's no black in it, and there's no light. It's just the color itself. And this is where I would say that you and I come in to the picture, you know, where we're like a middle ground between the two of these things. But whenever we lay it down on onto the canvas, that first phase has got to be left behind. There's got to be some shadow left behind. You can't just cover it up. It's important. You have, this is the idea that, you can't get rid of hell or the devil. You can't just kill them, because this is a side of an energy, an antagonistic energy that has to be there. So, once you get a grip on that idea, then, you lose a lot of fear, because it's the way it is. It's just how it works, So whenever we go on, we become a deliberate paint stroke. We're not just sliding around. That's the first phase. We're just covering up, covering, just sliding around. But the second phase of this here becomes deliberate now. It's deliberate, and we have to leave something behind. Something from the first phase. And so you're seeing that, you're occupying less of this, because as you move on, if you're leaving something behind that's left unpainted or left below, then you're obviously covering less field. All right. And then the third phase comes in. The third phase shows up when you introduce white into the color. You mix it in, and now it's a brighter color, and this comes in, as your sunshine coming in for your painting. And you use this one less. It's just the least of everything, It's like you set it on top of the second phase, and you've got to leave something of the second phase behind. It means that you're using it less. So, as you progress into this world of as the frequencies raise, it takes less and less and less and less effort to go up here. It's a beautiful place to go to in this line. And so, whenever I talk about it, they don't actually realize that that's exactly how it's working, It is also representing God being light, being photon, the lower levels of the converse of every red and darkness, is the lower frequencies. And then as you raise in frequencies, all the other colors show up to purple. All right, and it's kind of cool, because whenever at the end of an art class, whenever I'm done cleaning up, the water is usually purple, so it's a mix of everything when we're done that makes this God stuff, and it's just really cool, and I'm saying this because, whenever I hear some of my friends out there that are like, they're still on the fence with this religion and stuff. It's when they say to get to know you, to go know this God, it's really is to, can you take on an extra science class? Can you take on a class that teaches you how your mind works and stuff like that? Because this will fill in the gaps, of how our brains work. I hear all the time, this doesn't make any sense to me at all, and I'm looking, I said, all I'm talking about is how the brain works, and that's science, and it's proven. Whenever we're awake, we're in beta, and whenever we go down into sleep, we go into alphas and other things. But when we force ourselves into a meditative state, our efforts and our energies raised in a different direction, up to delta. And this delta frequency is basically, this is the God territory, and what it purges and cleans out is your mind and things that are in your system that, you might have some melatonin that's released, and it'll go out there and it'll start attacking cancer cells and stuff like that. But you'll find that that's all this is really talking about. All of these things, these sciences in the past, and they talk about the destroyer, like Shiva and stuff like that. It's the lower vibrations that they're talking about. That when the lower the vibrations, the less important, the less they just don't have any cohesive. This is discovered through sand and playing with water and the frequencies, and that the higher frequency, the more beautiful things become, and the more orderly, and the more But we're in this spot that we're supposed to balance between the two of these things. And so in my paintings, what you have is a whole lot of shade, and then you have less of us, and then you have just this little bit of light that comes down. But it all together makes a nice balance, And so, that balance between the inside and the outside You know, if you spend all your time outside of yourself, not even knowing yourself or even being afraid of yourself, not trusting in yourself, these are things that'll never allow you to go up and experience yourself, because the inside is protecting itself from you. All right, but it's these chakras and these things that have to open up before you can get there. You know, it's one of the reasons why the number 40 in, you know, whenever the guys, when Moses is taking his guys out, you know, 40 days is being complained, you know, that's 40 years of wandering between, you know, 2 points on the compass that only takes 4 hours or 4 days to travel. Is kind of ridiculous. But, you know, if you knew that they were talking about the fourfold nature of the body, that you had to learn to guide and control yourself through the emotional side, through your spiritual side, through the physical side, and getting a grip on the intellectual side. Now that you have that, that's the 40 years. It takes, if you do it right, it's really the traveling spaces between your growing and the bottom of your skull. But in order to clean house, sometimes we have to clean house. If you can't get that second chakra, if you can't forgive someone or forgive yourself even, you know, this chakra will stay closed and you'll never be able to get above this. And so the ideas and the wills is that you really want to do this, and your body will do what you want. It really will. You won't be locked out of this heaven. You won't be locked out of this place, because it's meant to drag you out of hell. So you don't have to be anything particular. It says, come as you are, come with your spots, come with all of this stuff. But it just wants you to come, you know, that you really want to do it, you know. You can't have no doubts about yourself and nothing like that, you know. You have to say, I really just want to do it. That's when I've given up. And I want to give it up to a higher power. And it doesn't mean just throwing it out in the air or something like that, you know, and we're going to church and bring God into your life. Jesus Christ, no. It means sit down, take a little break, and learn something about yourself. Learn something about the world around you. Learn that, you know, one of these things is going to bring you up here, and then you'll bring some intuition back home with you. And you'll take away certain things that have been holding you back, you know. And one of the first things that it took away from me was, don't believe in this Jesus crap anymore. Don't believe in the violence that it takes to ensure that you get some kind of love out of the divine. You know, if you can master some of this happiness out of this quagmire that they've got the whole world running on, that means that the new heaven and the new earth opens up to you. But it's still the same shitty place. But now, you just look at it differently, you know. You're no longer going to be chased around by a god up there or a devil down there. And you're not going to be taking what they say, oh, you're going to hell. You know, you're just going, I'm already there, you know. You know, you're a devil. Yeah, well, yeah, I am. Thank you. You know, and, you know, oh, you know, they'll call you anything but God, but then, you know, he got that too, you know. And, you know, so, you know, it's just, you can just sit back and watch craziness happen, you know. Or like me, try to fight it, you know, one person at a time, bring some light in. Because if you think about it, when it comes down to this painting, you know, when you're doing the class, and I've been teaching for years and years and years, so it ain't my first rodeo, but a couple of years ago, oh, wow, after all these years, now I know what I was talking about. It doesn't take very much light to bring a balance into this world. Do you understand? So even if it's the road, the less traveled place, you know, we should still get a few of us on there, and we don't need to worry about having to turn the whole world around or nothing like that at all. You know, it'd be something like, you know, you just need a little light, Maybe we'll figure it out somehow, how one little light can take over like a whole mess of peoples, like for 10 or 20 people or something like that. But there's a ratio, I'm sure. But it only takes a little light, to balance everything out. And right now, I think that dark side's got a hand up on us, because there's a whole lot of stupid people out there. Oh my God. And they're ignorant by their own intelligence, and that's a shame, just a shame. But anyways, I gotta go get ready for work. Life is as easy as learning how to paint. It really is. You become the creator. You destroy the emptiness in the world, and you create something out of nothing. But you have to destroy something. You have to destroy nothing to get there. And to tell you the truth, to get there, you have to destroy your body. You got to come with nothing to go and see this Lord, to see this cosmic, or get this a cosmic checkup, from our Maker, And really, what it is just opening up yourself. This female, remember a male pulse. There's no male. God is not a male. It's not by himself. It's two. It's a pulse. A male is a pulse. That's why it's an arrow. So it's a pulse. It's being sent. A female energy is symbolic as a catch. Like the womb. She's going to receive something, and then when she receives something, and it connects, then it's going to give birth to something. So that's all we have to do. And we're going to think that this is a virgin birth. Well, we do have to participate in it. We are what connects mother and father together. We are the ones that come up in there and bridge the gap between the two and connect. And that brings on this beautiful light, which is the love of this God, But I don't want to use the word God, from the divine, from the pretty side of this. And it'll help balance out everything inside of you and outside of you. So that's all they're asking for. There shouldn't be any about dogma this and about that dogma and hurting, or not being accepted into these things. They tell you, do this to you in private. People don't have to know. You can, if someone asks you if you believe in God, of course we believe in God, but do you want to get into it? You say, well, I'm not so sure because I think that you believe God as a male, and there's one, and that he kills things, and I'm afraid that, the divine doesn't kill things, Oh, but it shows in the Bible here he kills thousands and thousands of times. I said, yeah, that's also because he has to represent both sides. He has to represent the good and the evil. But if you took it back to his real name, to his real description, male and female, and that we were made in this image, then you would see that it's about consciousness, and it's about the left and the right sides of our brain. And that the way that... I'm just repeating myself. Go inside today if you can, and just knock on that door, and you return home just like that. And one day that door's just going to open. Don't give up. You just sit there and you knock, and you become the persistent neighbor who just keeps knocking and knocking, and who comes and needs everything because he got nothing, absolutely nothing they got. And then this door will just one day open up and say, take it all. Take it all. And that's the way the story goes, And don't expect no fancy fanfares and nothing like that, or parades or anything. This is something that goes with you, and you're supposed to see beautiful things and wonderful things return back to your life. Return or, disappear if it's something that bothers you. But this is what you're supposed to concentrate on, is you, and don't worry about the world around you. It has its own reward, what they're doing on the outside. You do what you do, and bring that light in, and then do what you can to share that with other people. There's nothing more that I can tell and keep telling over and over and over again. But anyways, you guys, Don't let these tough times get you down. They were designed this way. The crazier it is in this world out there, and the more you believe in the Bible, the more that you are stuck in this, what they call the beast system, you know. And Jesus and Krishna and Buddha, these teachings of these teachers, of these princes of peace, are bringing you peace. Not the world. The world is here. If you can get some peace here, then I haven't seen it, but if you could get some peace here, there'd be peace in the world around us, you know. And I don't want to say I don't see it, because there's peace in my world. There is around here, you know. And I have stopped killing a lot of little animals and something like that. I haven't stopped killing mosquitoes. But I've been thinking twice about roaches, you know. But there's consciousness everywhere, and all it really wants to do is exist, you know. But you and I are the ones that are in charge of whether or not it goes into the negative world or into the positive world. It's us. It's up to us. It's not up to God. It ain't up to the devil. It's up to us to try to mediate, make it a beautiful place. And if you can't do it with your own hands, you do it by going in and getting the help from the cosmos, you know? And then run around shining your light all around. So lighten up on yourself. Just keep trying. This is the time of all the times in the Bible. It says, where can we sup with you? He tells us, you go into this house, or you come to a town where a man will be carrying a pitcher of water. He says, follow him, go into his house, enter his house, and then to upstairs and to the right. There's a room, and Jesus says, in the story, says, now there I am. How? Hello, here I am. But that's what it says. That's a prophecy. That's a prophecy in the Bible that could be the only real one, you know, or, all right, is the only real one. There's others, but I'm not really going to hang on to them. But I'm telling you, this idea of being able to get there, it's easier now. It's easier now because we are in the age, we are entering the age of Aquarius, all right? And so it's showing that it's this easier. It's just easier. But even all the stories really show you how to get up there and in there and on there and up there. But there may be blocks, something that we do that blocks our paths, that builds this enormous wall between us and this. And it's not really just your belief system. It's how you think. You know, if you're an acidic person, you know, you're not going to get anywhere. You know, if you're just an out-and-out asshole, you're not going to get anywhere. But I'll tell you the truth, man. It says that it didn't come here for people that were perfect and, you know, and all that, you know, and, you know, little... No, it came here for us devils. It came here to fish us out of hell. And they don't want your skin, but they got you. And they know what you got. It tells you, I know what you want. I know what you don't need. I know already. So, you know, you have to believe in it. You have to trust in yourself. So take back control of yourself. You know. Swallow that lion so that you become the lion. And let the Christians ride around in that back of the bus. All right, I love you guys. Keep at it. Just keep trying. You know, it's all worth it. Every bit worth it. Best y'all.